KSS listeners to this day of our pilgrimage. We're in Galilee. We're going to be heading down to Jerusalem. So all of our family and friends and listeners, we're praying for you here. Please pray for us.
And we don't want to forget Jimmy and Emily. We miss you, and we're coming home soon.
And Steve, Lindsay, and Kevin, be sure to take care of them.
They a businesswoman. Now, businesswomen, if they wanted to do business with men, they would.
And my job was with the toilet plunger, believe it or not. They had a toilet plunger attached to a long stick, and what my job to do was to go up in the front of the boat and to go kerpush, kerpush, kerpush into the water as the boat slowly moved into the net, because that scared the fish, and they would hear the kerpush, kerpush, and they would swim away, and they'd go right into the nets. Then we would start pulling the nets in, and they'd pull them in, and there's a fish stuck in the net, they'd throw it in the boat. Pull in more, another fish, throw it in the boat. By the time we're done, I'm up to my knees in fish because they're all just thrown into the bottom of the boat. That's one. But when you come here, you get a more realistic picture of what it was really like and who Jesus really was and what he really gave up in glory to come down here to be one of us and to walk and get his feet dirty and the kind of life. And then think of that, he even went beyond that. The scandal of the incarnation is only half of it, God becoming man. People can't even believe or agree with that, but the scandal went even further, and then that man, who is God, also went all the way to the cross to die for us. Think of the scandal of that. So now that we're at
The Sea of Galilee gives and lives. The other sea gives nothing. It is named the dead. There are two seas in Palestine, and there are two kinds of people in this world. What kind are we? Lacks any type of life in it, because it is extremely salty, as we all know. It's actually 9 times more salty than any other lake or any other ocean in the world. And nothing lives in that water. And what's interesting is that people ask, how come if we have the
against you, I ended up by saying, the words I speak to you are spirit and life. The flesh profits nothing. And I'd say, okay, Catholic, you just told me all about eating the flesh, the flesh, the flesh. And now Jesus pokes you right in the nose and he says the flesh profits nothing. It proves you all wrong. How would you have responded to that? Do you know how many Catholics collapsed in a heap when I would bring up that argument? Verse 63. The problem is that it's our verse. Jesus is saying that these words are spirit and life. They're sacramental. They're mystery. You can't understand them with your five senses. The flesh, meaning the five senses. The flesh means that which is natural, devoid of the revelation of God. We cannot understand with our measly, puny little 5 senses what's going on in the world. We can't see angels. You can't even see the Wi-Fi signals and radio signals. Can you tell me what the weather is in Nebraska right now? Why not? You can't. Why not? Those signals are going, radio signals, TV, are going right through your head. You should be able to tell me right now. If I put an antenna there, I can pick it up. But your senses cannot pick it up, but it doesn't mean that those radio waves don't exist. It just means that your 5 senses can't pick them up. And this is what Jesus is saying. The flesh profits nothing. When you come to sacramental mystery, things of heaven, things that can't be seen with your eyes or your ears, it doesn't mean they don't exist. It just means your 5 senses are so measly and puny they can't pick it up. This is the synagogue in Capernaum, where Jesus said, "Unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood, there is no life in you." Verse 59 of John chapter 6 said Jesus spoke these words while he was in the synagogue in Capernaum. Amir is now explaining the history of this church of Tabga, where the multiplication of loaves took place. And while he's doing that, I'm going to sneak in and show you the church where they're all going to follow in about 5 minutes. But this is the church that commemorates the place of the multiplication of loaves and fish and the place where Jesus did this miracle. And for those who say he just taught people to share, that's nonsense. It was a real miracle. And this altar is placed over the stone where the miracle took place. And we see also the mosaic from the 5th century, the original mosaic of the 5th century of the loaf and the fish. And there's the rock on which where the miracle took place.